Hello my dear second PU students, your midterm exam is just over and the results are hopefully out by the time you are watching this video. Now, so if you are someone who is very good at physics, okay, and you have already completed the entire syllabus and you are wondering, even though I am very good at physics, how I can still not getting the out marks, or if you are someone who is very weak in physics like most of you are, and if you are someone who has wasted all of your year till now and have not studied a single chapter, single concepts, forcefully you have studied some chapters when you are at college, but you are irregular at college and somehow you have missed most of the lectures and still you are wondering, is it over for me in physics? Well, no, I am here to answer that question. If you start even today, you can achieve 95% marks in physics, okay. Here we are assuming that you are scoring at least 28 to 29 marks in your practical exam. So out of that, rest of the marks you can still score. It is very easy to score 55 to 65 marks in physics if you study properly. Okay, if you are following methods without any distraction, if you follow the methods, that things that we are going to discuss in our lecture today, then definitely you will be in good hands and you will be very close to scoring this 95% plus marks at least. Okay, those who are good in physics, they should target at least 90, more than 95 obviously. I will be happy if someone scores out in your PU board exam, but the dates are coming very fast now, so there is not a single minute to waste. Let's start with the analysis of your midterm marks. Now there are certain differences between other subjects and physics, because even though you are very strong in physics, your marks may be slightly difficult based on different parameters. So physics scores are slightly different than other subjects. Okay, first of all, let's see your midterm marks, how much you have scored in your midterm. And if you are a smart boy, please mention your marks in the comment below, how much you have scored and how much you are expecting but you have received less marks. Okay, what are the mistakes that you have made. Now in physics, if you have scored 50 plus marks in your midterm, then you are a strong candidate. Okay, I am not assuming you have copied something. 50 plus score on your own without copying, without taking any help from your friends. A small help is okay, but if you have copied from your friends, he scored 65, you scored 50, then that does not matter. Okay, so if you have scored 50 marks out of 70 in your midterm exam, then I am assuming you are very strong in physics, but you have made some mistakes. That's why your marks is not expected marks, but still 50 plus marks considered to be good, strong physics. Now if your marks is between 30 to 50, if you have scored between 30 to 50, then your physics is moderate. Okay, you are not very strong in physics, you are neither very weak in physics, but you can improve from there. Okay, I know most of the students are actually between 30 to 50. Okay, 50 plus is very less and 30 to 50 is most of the students are in this category. And in case you have scored below 30, okay, don't worry not, I will help you as well. Okay, then you should consider yourself weak in physics. Okay, you cannot even remember basic concepts, basic formulas. Okay, and the application though is a different level, right? So at least what you have to understand is how much you can score from now on, what you should do to score a better result in upcoming PU board as well as pre-board. First you will have to appear for pre-board in January, and then there will be a board exam in March, as you know. So I am going to help you how you can achieve the best result in your upcoming exam. Now this is a survey that we did in our YouTube channel. So we have received this feedback from students that how was your PU midterm exam. Then now this is based on the entire subjects, all the subjects, physics, chemistry, biology. Okay, and 18% of you have said very good. Okay, I appreciate all of them who has said very good and those who scored very well in your midterm exam. Now if you are in the good category also, that is fine. 37% of you are in good category. Okay is like 26%, and bad is not good or bad is about 20%. Okay, so even if you are falling one of these categories, it does not matter. This video is for everyone, all of you, those who are already close to 90%, they can even achieve 100%, and those who are even not yet started, okay, they are every day they are opening the physics book and closing it. Obviously that will not help. They will think, okay, today I will start studying physics, today is my day of physics, and okay, it's very boring, I will close it and I will do something else. I will solve mathematics, I will study some biology. Okay, so if you are doing that, then you should watch this video till the end. Okay, now how many chapters are there in your physics? There are total 14 chapters in your second PU exam. So your second PU exam will be based on these 14 chapters. Okay, now time left, how much time you have till your final board exam is happening? You have around 4 months. November is this month, okay, December, January, February, and from March onwards your PU board exam will start. So I am not counting March. Also you should know that in somewhere around February there will be your practical exams as well, but that is only one day, a few hours, but that's why I have considered February as well. And if you are preparing for any competitive exam, for example if you are appearing for JEE mains, then that will happen in somewhere end of the January, okay, 22nd January to 31st January, I think dates are announced. Now remember that if you are at the stage where you are thinking, okay, my physics is over, I will if I will be happy if I just get 21 marks in theory and I pass the exam, okay, then definitely you should not focus on your JEE exam. Okay, it does not matter how much you score in mathematics, how much you score in chemistry. If your physics is 0, then you will not be able to score good marks in January JEE mains. You can try after the second session end of your PU board, okay, that time you can try your luck. But right now what you should focus, if you are very weak student in physics, you should focus solely on scoring well in your PU board. And if you are doing well in your PU board, then you will get one more chance of appearing JEE mains this year. Also if you are aiming for NEET also, it will be helpful to have a good score in your PU board. And if you start doing it now, maybe your NEET score will also improve, right? So everything is linked together. Now I am going to share you a 4-month plan. Okay, what you should do in these 4 months. Okay, first of all, November, December, January and February, there are 4 months. So first in November you have to complete 7 chapters. Okay, 4 weeks, 7 chapters, 2 chapters every week. If you can do that, then you can achieve a good marks in your PU. In December we will complete 7 chapters, as well as we will do some revision as well. It is not only those 7 chapters, I will share a detailed plan, don't worry. In January you have to do revision. Okay, there will be pre-board exam during this time as well, and you have to solve previous year questions or sample model question paper, whatever things that you are doing. From there you can whatever books you are following, from there you have to solve previous year questions. And trust me, PU board exam is very easy question paper, except the one part, that is the MCQs. Okay, I will give you some tips about how to answer MCQs as well. And then in February you will have practical exams, preparation, and then only revision. Okay, January and February should be only for revision. Okay, whatever you are studying right now, that has to be done in November and December, and you have to do it chapter wise. Randomly you open a book, you open a chapter, you studied some questions, tomorrow you open another book, another chapter, and you forgot whatever you studied yesterday. No, you have to follow chapter wise. And then when you are revising in January and February, that time you have to be careful. Okay, that part was difficult for me to understand, I will revise it more now. So that is one thing that you have to be careful about. Okay, November and December you have to study chapter wise. In January and February you can study concept wise, whatever you felt difficult, that is fine. Okay, even if you are strong in physics, November and December study chapter wise. So that is very important. Okay, 3 questions. First of all, you have to ask 3 questions to yourself. Okay, what are those 3 questions? First question is, did you give your best in your midterm exam, or throughout the year? I have given my best. I have tried all the things, but still it is not working out. Or I have given my best, but sometimes I feel lazy. Or I have not given my best at all. I feel whenever I open the book, I close it because physics is very hard for me. So that question you have to ask yourself and answer honestly. Okay, I ask students, have you ever given your best? He will say, sir, I have given my best. But inside their heart, they will say, sir, physics is very hard. Outside the class, they will say, sir, physics is very hard. That's why I have not studied. Or sometimes they will say, sir, my sister marriage was there, my brother's marriage was there, some engagement was there. Okay, so that's why I have not studied. We used to joke around these things in our class, but this is not a class. So let's ask your second question. Okay, do you think you can do better? If you say, okay, I have given my best, okay, can you do it better than whatever you have done so far? Obviously you can do better. There is always a scope of betterment in your future, right? Next is, do you think you have improved? When you are in class 11th and now you are in class 12, that is second PU, so how much improvement is happened since your class 11th? Is it better? It is worse? Okay, how much you scored in your first PU annual exam? How much time you used to study back then? Are you studying the same amount of hours now? Yes or no? Simple question. How focused you are? How much focused you were then? How much focused you are now? So if your performance is improving or not, that is the question you have to ask yourself last, right? Now, you have made a lot of mistakes, right? What are those mistakes and how you can correct those things? Okay, let's see. Spending too much time on low weighted chapters, okay, and less time on high weighted chapters. So for example, there is a chapter called electromagnetic waves. Okay, this is a very favorite chapter of Anil. Anil was one of my student, and he used to study electromagnetic waves in details. Okay, he studied even higher level of concepts about electromagnetic waves, and he was very good in electromagnetic waves. But in the annual exam, only 4 marks comes from this chapter. So he studied electromagnetic wave for 3 months, 4 months, maybe even 6 months, but only 4 marks question comes from this chapter. Right? So if you waste too much time on a chapter from where very simple questions are coming and very small number of questions are coming, how can you expect to score good if you only have studied not important chapters? First of all, you have to make this mistake correct by doing something. Okay, not having writing enough practice. So you may have not even writing, not doing enough writing practice. Very important thing. Okay, when I used to teach in the class, there used to be a 2-hour study hour in our during our classes. Okay, at the evening study hours. So I used to ask students, please write your answers. If you are writing, then only you will learn. If you are only reading, you might feel, okay, I am confident, I have studied this, I can answer this. But eventually, if you are not writing that, then you will not be able to write the same answer in your exam. When the exam comes, you will have a lot of tension in your head. Okay, oh, I have to score well, my parents are waiting for me, I have to score well, I have to get a good job in future. So that in that all tension, what will happen that is you will make some mistakes in your answer because you are not doing the practice. Okay, only if you are doing practice with writing, then only you will be able to score good marks. Now, what else? Not practicing previous year questions. So this is I guess this is very less for some of the students. Most of the students actually study from previous year questions only, but still, if you are not doing that, okay, if you are studying some questions which are actually from the deleted portion of the syllabus, so you have to be aware that which portions are deleted now. Okay, we have done a detailed video on deleted syllabus of physics. Okay, you can go and check that video. Okay, but you have to be careful about what all are deleted now, and if you are currently practicing from previous year questions. So for example, you can easily predict what are the important 5 marks question from a chapter, what are all the 2 marks question from that chapter, what are all the 3 marks question from the chapter. All the questions can be predictable. You can predict those questions. There are few sets of questions. If you study them properly, then you can score well in your final PU board exams. Okay, next, keeping things for the last moment. Okay, if you are studying right now, you will say, okay, I have completed this chapter, I will practice numericals at the later part. Okay, or I have completed the 2 marks and 3 marks question, I will write and study the 5 marker questions the last hour, okay, just before exam. Or this chapter is important, but right now I don't feel that this chapter, I am not having good feelings about this chapter, so I will study about this chapter at the last moment. So don't keep things at the last moment. Okay, if you think this chapter is important, this concept is important, from this chapter there will be one numerical, definitely you have to do it now. Okay, don't keep everything for the last hour. Okay, so I remember students, they used to study at the last hour. Just before exam they will open the book and they will show you that they are the most studious student in the entire college, but eventually they will score 0 because they have not studied. They want to study in the morning of the exam. If you do that, your future is over, right? So be serious. Let's undo all these mistakes one by one. So what we have to do? We have to do something to undo all these mistakes, right? So like don't be like this fellow. Okay, he is crying after all the mistakes, he started melting. But we have to correct these mistakes and become a perfect human being. So first, spending too much time on low weightage chapters and less time on high weightage chapters. So I gave you one example of my student Anil. He used to study electromagnetic waves. Okay, but don't be Anil. So what you have to do? You have to make a study schedule. Okay, so I am assuming that you are going to college every day, after college, before college. Okay, you have to maintain some time. Okay, and soon there will be college will be less frequent for those who are studying in normal regular colleges. Those who are focused on competitive exam related colleges, they have a stricter schedule, but still I am assuming that you are studying in a regular college and you are struggling to score well in your PU exam. So how you can manage that? You have to make a study timetable that in the evening 2 hours I will study physics. From 6 to 8 every day I will study physics, or from 8 to 10 I will study physics. Similarly, for example, biology. If you are studying biology, it is very easy to remember things in the early morning. Okay, and if you are practicing math can happen in slightly later in the night. Okay, from 9 to 10 or 10 to 12, like that. Okay, so if you are studying physics, the best time to study physics is around 8 to 10. Okay, so 8 to 10, if you have to make a timetable for yourself. Okay, from 6 to 8 I will follow physics. From 6 to 8 I will study chemistry. From 8 to 10 I will study physics. From 11 to 12 or 11 to 1 I will study mathematics. There is no time to sleep. Okay, you are at the final leg of your very important exam, so you have to reduce your sleep. Now also you have to reduce your play time. Okay, if you are playing cricket in the ground, stop for 4 months. It will not, the ground will not go anywhere. Okay, after your exams are over, after your future is secured, you can go and play there, right? So I go to play in the ground in the Sunday mornings, right? So my future is secured, so I can play cricket. But if you are playing cricket now, maybe after 5 years you will be cutting grass in that cricket ground, right? That is not good, right? So first of all, you have to make a study plan for yourself. Set a number of days for each chapter. So you have to set a number of days. For example, electric charges and field is a very important chapter. Okay, you have to set, okay, 4 days I will study this chapter, I will complete this chapter. Okay, next is start with high priority chapters first in the order. Okay, so electric charges and field is the first chapter. It is also a high priority chapter. I will complete this chapter first. Okay, electrostatic potential and capacitance is also important chapter. It is the second chapter. I will complete this chapter next. Like that, you have to make a plan. Okay, in case you miss one day because of some commitment, okay, because of some, maybe you have a tuition class or you have some friends function, you have to skip those things right now. But still, in case you have some gaps in that days, you can adjust that one day. Maybe Sunday you will study 1 hour extra in physics. Okay, so like that you have to adjust the time. Next is alternate with medium priority chapter. So if you are studying high priority chapters, after the high priority chapter is over, you can alternate that with a medium priority chapter. Okay, so suppose you this week I had a plan of completing current electricity, but I didn't get enough time to complete current electricity. So what I will do? I will study alternating current. It is also an important chapter, but it is not super important. It's a medium important chapter. So I will complete alternating current during that time instead of completing current electricity. Okay, so that requires less amount of time. Or dual nature of radiation and matter in the fact. So these are the medium important chapters. From there you get less number of questions. Okay, but still they are medium important chapters, so you cannot ignore them as well. So you have to alternate them with medium important chapters. End with low priority chapters. So at the end you have to finish all the low priority chapters. Okay, after low priority chapters are over, then what you can do? You can revise those chapters, important chapters, not the low priority chapters, obviously. Okay, this is how you should follow. Now next, check the weightage for each chapter. You have to check the weightage for each chapter. So first of all, high weightage chapters. What are all the high weightage chapters? Electric charges and fields. Okay, there are 3 different blueprints available. Okay, this number represents the average number of all the 3 blueprints. So in some blueprints there will be 10 marks, some blueprint there will be 12 marks, but in an average from this chapter, electric charges and fields, you can expect about 11 marks in your PU board exam. Okay, so 11 marks will come from this chapter alone. Okay, now there will be some different questions, different variations, and if you add all the marks, there will be more than 100, because the question paper has a lot of extra questions as well. I will be going to discuss that as well. So electric charges and field is a very important chapter. Next is electrostatic potential and capacitance. This is also very important chapter. 11 marks comes from this chapter as well. Right, next is current electricity. Current electricity is very important chapter, and 13 marks comes from this chapter. Either one theory or one numerical definitely going to be coming from this chapter. Okay, so it will be either mostly it will be based on Wheatstone bridge. So we know these facts. So if you study current electricity, okay, all the theories based on Wheatstone bridge, all the numerical based on Wheatstone bridge, then definitely you can score well in the PU board exam, right? So this is also super important chapter. Next is moving charges and magnetism, another important chapter. Again 11 marks coming from this chapter. Next is ray optics and optical instruments. Okay, book 2 chapter 1. So this is also very important chapter. 11 marks question comes from this chapter. Last year there was a numerical from this chapter which was very easy, but many students actually did miscalculations in that problem, so they got the wrong answer. Right, so ray optics is also very important chapter. Now let's look into the medium important chapter. Most of the chapters are actually falling in this medium important chapter. So if you see how many chapters are there in the important chapter category, 1 2 3 4 5 out of 14 chapters, 5 chapters are super important. Okay, now what are all those medium important chapters? Medium important chapter means from there you can get 5-6 marks. Okay, so magnetism and matter, for 6 marks coming from this chapter. Next is electromagnetic induction, 7 marks comes from this chapter. Next is alternating current, 7 marks comes from this chapter. This is also very important chapter. Either one numerical, every year one numerical comes from this chapter, and 2 short questions. Okay, so you know this pattern, right? If you know this pattern, then you can be sure, okay, this chapter is important. Even though this is a medium important chapter, I don't need to study everything. If I practice enough numerical from this chapter, then I will be good to go, right? Next is wave optics. Wave optics is also medium important chapter. 7 question comes from this chapter. Okay, dual nature of radiation and matter, another medium important chapter. 6 marks comes from this chapter. Okay, semiconductor electronics is also medium important chapter. 8 marks comes from this chapter. Now every year from this chapter there is a 5 marks long answer type question. okay, either half wave rectifier or full wave rectifier. Okay, so one of the questions comes from this chapter every year. Okay, so this is also a known chapter. Even though it's a medium important chapter, if you study properly, this chapter can be completed in 2-3 days, right? So that's why you have to become smarter. Right now, low weightage chapter. What are the low weightage chapters? There is a chapter electromagnetic waves. Okay, don't become like my student who only studied electromagnetic waves. Next is atoms. Atom is not super important chapter. Many students waste too much time studying atoms and nuclei. Okay, both chapters are 3 marks and 4 marks comes from this chapter. Combined they have 7 marks, but atoms and nuclei individually they are not super important chapters. Okay, 3-4 marks only comes from this chapter. So don't waste too much time on atoms and nuclei chapter. Right now, what next? Not having enough writing practice. So you are not writing enough while studying. Okay, you are not writing your notes, you are not practicing the answers. What to do about that? At the end of the chapter, when you have completed the chapter, okay, pick a question from 2, 3, 5 marker category. How can you pick the questions? I will give you one way to download the model question paper. Once you download the model question paper, there you will find questions from each chapter, right? Find a 2 marker question from that chapter. Okay, try to answer that. Okay, now you don't need to write the answer in detail, you can answer them in small points. Okay, so you can write those points in your notebook, so that will also help you to revise before exam. Okay, so for example, what are all the properties of a charge? Okay, charges are quantized in nature. Okay, charges are conserved in nature, and charges are additive in nature. So you just write these 3 points. You don't need to elaborate it. If this question comes from a 3 marks question, then maybe you need to add one more line to that. Okay, I have discussed that during our midterm booster course. If you have followed that, okay, how to write that answer. Okay, so you just write those points. Just before exam, you just open that book and revise those points. Okay, so that will help, very helpful to revise before exam. And if you are only, okay, this all the points are written on the book, I will open the book, I will do this, and then I will sleep. You'll fall asleep, nothing done, right? So don't do that. Okay, now you have to understand the paper pattern as well. What are all the different type of questions comes from a paper? Okay, so first of all, there are part A. There are basically part A, B, C and D. There are 4 parts in the question paper. In part 1, part A, there are 2 parts. Part 1A and part 2A. Okay, what is 1A? In the 1A, you will get 15 MCQ questions. All the questions are compulsory. You have to answer all the 15 questions. Okay, out of these 15 questions, you can expect 10 easy to medium questions and 5 difficult questions. Okay, and use your head, use your logical explanation. Don't trust on your friends who is waving your hand somewhere in the corner that one question is answer C. Don't copy that. Use your own head, use your own perception. Okay, maybe you will be correct. Your friend who is saying question number 1 option C is actually maybe incorrect. Right, so I have done invigilation duty as well during different exams, so I know what you all are doing in the classroom, right? So many students, they try to answer MCQs, but they fail. Okay, they might think they are lacking confidence that okay, my answer may be incorrect, her or his answer will be correct, so I'll copy. So first you try to answer yourself. You see if you know the answer or not. Okay, so if you know the answer, answer them. If you don't know them, just leave it. Check at the end how can you eliminate method of elimination, that okay, this is maybe incorrect, this is maybe incorrect, this could be possibly the correct answer, like that. Okay, so you have to learn different technologies. We will discuss that during our lectures when we are doing the regular lectures. Very soon we will do the regular lectures as well. Okay, there I will be solving a lot of questions, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not yet done so. There we will be doing all the different important questions from all the chapters. Okay, so 15 MCQs will be there. This is little tricky for even for students, those who are very good, very strong. Okay, sometimes 1 or 2 mistakes in MCQ can cost you a lot, right? So you have to be careful while answering the MCQs. Fill in the blanks is relatively easy. Okay, even if you are very weak, you can find 3 or 4 answers correctly. Okay, 1 you can guess. Okay, so like that you can still answer 5 out of 5 in this question. Okay, next is short answer type questions. Very predictable. 8 questions comes from this short answer type 2 marks category. Okay, and out of these 2 you have to attempt 5 questions. Out of these 8 you have to attempt 5 questions. Each of them has 2 marks, so total will be 10 marks from this 2 marker category. Next is 3 marker short answer type question, that is part C 4. Okay, section 4. There you have to there will be 8 questions, again 8 questions of 3 marks, and you have to answer 5 questions. Okay, out of 8 you have to answer 5 questions. This is 3 mark question. Okay, here also will be point wise short answer type questions, not very long. Okay, sometimes explanation, sometimes just simple theory. Okay, 3 properties of electric field lines. Okay, 3 properties of electric charge, like that. Okay, 3 properties of nuclear force. So these are the very common questions from this category. Next is long answer type question, 5 marks question. Basically it is a mostly it is a derivation based question. Okay, they will ask you to derive this expression for or derive the expression, prove that, or find the relation, find the electrostatic potential due to a point charge at some point. Okay, or find the relationship between electric potential and electric field. So there will be some in some cases there will be small 1 mark starter question, as I say. So state Gauss's law. From the Gauss's law, find the expression for electric field due to a straight current carrying a straight charge conductor. So these are the 1 plus 4 marks question. So these are basically derivations. Okay, you have to practice all those derivations. There will be 5 derivations. Out of that you have to answer 3 questions, right? So this is the very practice oriented thing. Many students start off well and they know the answer, somehow they write the answer well, but in between they make lot of mistakes. So you will not get full marks if you are not writing them properly. Okay, and I have seen students having very good handwriting, in between derivation their handwriting becomes very weak. Why? They think if I write in a bad handwriting, teachers may not be able to read it, and they may not be able to decide, okay, whether my writing was incorrect or not, and he will give me full marks. No, they are not fools. Okay, they are well aware that what you are trying to achieve. Next is numericals. It requires a lot of practice. I say that if you are very weak in physics, okay, that is like your marks, current marks is below 30, then you should at least attempt 1 numerical. Okay, you should not try all the numericals. If you can do that, is very fine, but otherwise you should target at least 1 numerical. I will definitely score in my pre-board, I will definitely score in my final exam. Okay, I suggest alternating current and ray optics. These are the 2 chapters from where you should practice numericals. If you are lucky, then you might be getting both questions common. If you are unlucky, at least 1 question you will get common, right? So, and practice NCERT. For numericals you have to solve all the NCERT end of the chapter exercises. They are very important. Every year for physics, all the questions that is coming are from NCERT end of the chapter questions. Sometimes they change the data only, otherwise the language, everything is same. Next is, how can you remember? Okay, I have heard this question a lot of times. Sir, I am studying, I am spending 2 hours, I am spending 3 hours, I am doing whatever you are saying, but still I am not able to remember anything during exam. What to do, sir? So here are a few tips for those who are spending a lot of time in studying physics. They are not maybe doing it properly, and since that's why they are forgetting whatever they are studying. So first of all, write down all the important questions and their short answers chapter wise. So if you are someone who is not able to remember the questions, close your guidebook right now. Okay, how can you use your guidebook? first of all, you use your guidebook to find the questions from that chapter, find the answer. Now same thing you have to write in your notebook in a point format. Okay, so that is the main thing that you are missing. You are thinking whatever there in the guidebook, that will help me to score marks in our final exam, but whatever there in the guidebook, you are not writing that. You are thinking, okay, your mind is satisfied that okay, I have the guidebook. You have to study that guidebook, and whether you have completed that study or not, for that, after studying, close the guidebook, write it down in your notebook. If you are doing that, then only you will be sure, okay, I am able to remember most of the things, right? Look for all the previous year questions that came from the chapter. Obviously, guidebook generally mention all the questions and which year they came. Okay, try to find latest 5-year question paper is possible. Okay, especially for 2 marker, 3 marker and 5 marker questions. Okay, MCQ are only last 3 years and some of them are now deleted also. So MCQ might be little problem for previous year questions, but 2 marker, 3 marker and 5 marker are very easy to find and very predictable. Okay, if you open your guidebook, then you will see some of the questions are coming almost every year. Okay, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, like that. So those are very, very common questions and very likely to come in your PU board exam as well. Okay, you can use any reference book for this. Okay, I personally like Legend, and there is a Jeevit publication. Legend is a publication, Legend publication and Jeevit publication, both are very good. Okay, Legend is personally my favorite, but many students follow Jeevit as well. This is also very good. This is not a paid promotion. This is my personal favorite, that's why I mentioned it. Okay, and there is one more book, I don't want to mention its name, but most students follow that book, and that book is not good. I know, I hope you are aware of the third book that most students follow. That book is not good. Write important formulas from the book, from the chapter at one place for quick review. If you write down all the formulas from the chapter, for example, if you are studying electrostatic potential chapter, so you have to write down, okay, what is the potential energy of due to a single charge. Potential energy or electric potential due to a single charge is kq by r. Okay, what is the relationship between electric potential and electric field? E is equal to negative of dV dx. Okay, what is the capacitance? Q is equal to CV. What is the energy stored in a capacitor? E is equal to half CV square. Now half CV square you can write Q into V, okay, or Q square by C, whatever formula. There are 3 different formulas. Okay, you can write all those formulas down, especially from those chapters from where you can expect one numerical question. Okay, so if you I said that ray optics is very important chapter for numericals, because it is mostly conceptual, only few mathematical formulas are there. Okay, lens maker formula is there, one refraction formula is there, okay, and one more spherical glass refraction formula is there. There are only 3-4 formulas, so that chapter is relatively easier if you understand the concept. Okay, but if you are someone who can remember all the formulas, and if you get the problem you can solve it, then you should try electrostatic potential chapter or the electric charges chapter. From there out of those 2 chapters, one numerical will definitely come, right? So this is the trick to solve all the remember all the formulas. If you write down all these are only few formulas I have written. If you write down all the formulas at one place, it will be very, very helpful for you to revise just before exam. Practice derivations by writing step by step. That is very, very, very important. Okay, you have to practice derivations. I am telling it from the beginning of my discussion today, that derivation has to be practiced with writing. They write the starting part well, they write the ending part well, in between they miss all the steps. They even do miscalculations, and after some managing, they somehow find the correct answer, which is actually incorrect. Right? Now, one more thing. Not practicing model question paper, previous year questions. So you are not practicing model question paper, neither you are practicing model question paper, nor you are doing PYQs. Now why I say practicing? Practicing means, suppose today is a Sunday, I open the model question paper 1 for physics, I sat down, I tried to write it down for 3 consecutive hours. That is called practicing. Practicing does not mean, okay, I know the first question answer, I know the second question answer. You have to sit it down, you have to write it down for 3 hours consecutively, so that you are ready. Okay, maybe you will not be able to answer all the questions. I can completely agree with that. Okay, so if you are not able to write all the questions, that is fine, but still you have to try and write all the questions. If you are not doing it, then you are doing very harmful thing for yourself only. Okay, so download the model question paper link. I will try to give it in the comment in the description. Okay, from the official PU website. PU website has released 3 model question paper for each subject. Okay, 3 for physics, 3 for chemistry, 3 for biology, 3 for mathematics. Okay, so you download them, you understand the different blueprints for that paper. Even if you are not aware of the blueprint, okay, if you don't want to waste too much time on blueprint, because basically what they have given previously, there was only one blueprint was available. Okay, so now because of that, only one type of questions was students were expecting. Now they have raised the level to next tier. So out of the 3 blueprints, any one of the blueprint will come in your final PU board exam. So even if there is a slight deviation from the blueprint, PU board will say, okay, we have shared 3 blueprints, not single one blueprint. So there can be small changes. So previous year, last year, I think there was a complaint from the students that a few questions are not according to the blueprint. There was some deviation from the blueprint. So to remove that mistakes, this year they have released 3 blueprints. Okay, now here are the list of the subjects for which you can download all the previous model question papers. Okay, for first PU also students, there is a model question paper. For second PU also there is a model question paper. Right, now what else? Keeping things for the last moment. You are keeping everything for the last moment. Okay, I will practice that question. I will practice Wheatstone bridge just before exam. I will practice full wave rectifier just before the exam. I will practice this numerical just before the exam. I will score. Okay, even if you do that, you will not score. Okay, I can guarantee that if you keep everything for the last moment, then even if you have studied that, even if that came in your exam, you will not be able to get 100% correct marks from that chapter. If you are doing it right now before exam, you can revise it. Okay, fine, but you have to complete that derivation, you have to complete that writing right now. Then only before exam you can revise it. Revision is different. Studying completely from the scratch, or right now we are just scraping through. Okay, you think, okay, this is an important question. Okay, I have marked this question, I will study it the week before exam. No, that is not the thing to do. You have to study it right now. Week before exam you can revise the same thing, but you have to finish the study. You have to practice it in writing. Then only 1 week before exam you can go open the book, you can revise and you can write the exam. Okay, so have a practical timetable for your studies. Okay, assign minimum number of days for each chapter. I already mentioned that, and divide the chapter based on your knowledge into strong and weak chapters. So maybe those who are actually doing the study properly right now, they know that, okay, current electricity may be little bit weak. I am little bit weak in current electricity chapter, or I am little bit weak in alternating current chapter. Okay, so if you can identify which chapters you are slightly stronger, for example, I am very strong in ray optics chapter. Whatever question comes from this chapter, I will be able to answer. So you have to identify the chapters from where you are very strong and where you are very weak. So if you have identified those things, then spend some more time on your weaker chapters. Spend slightly less time in your stronger chapters. We have already completed almost 7 months now, right, since your PU1 exam is over. So if you have studied a little bit, then you can say, okay, I am weak in this chapter, I am strong in this chapter. This is specifically for those who are following from the beginning, they are studying from the beginning. If you are just starting today, every chapter you will be weak, right? So there is no point of segregating weak and strong chapters. Now, what next? what you will be doing in the month of November. This is a month on month plan that I am going to share. In the month of November, week 1, you have to complete electric charges and fields and electrostatic potential and capacitance. Both are somewhat linked chapters. Okay, if you don't complete this chapter, you will not be able to understand this chapter. So that's why I suggest you have to complete this chapter in 1 week. Okay, Monday to Thursday maybe you will spend time on electric charges and field chapter. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday you will get some extra time. During that time you complete electrostatic potential and capacitance. Similarly, current electricity in week 2. This is the tentative plan. You can adjust them according to your choice of preferences. Current electricity, you should go in study week 2. Moving charges and magnetism in again in week 2. Electromagnetic induction in week 3, alternating current in week 3 as well. Week 4, ray optics and optical instrument and wave optics. Now I said 7 chapters should be completed in November, but I have given 8 chapters here. You can combine wave optics chapter with ray optics because they are linked chapter. Okay, whatever you are doing in ray optics is a big chapter, so you can, in case you don't get enough time, you can spill wave optics to the next month. But if you can manage time, you have to complete this. You have to follow this plan. Only if you are following this plan, I can say that you will be very close to getting this 95 plus. I am doing everything on my end, but if you are not doing on your end, you are thinking that okay, I will watch Sir's video and I will get 95%. No, you have to follow the steps that I am going to share with you, right? So that is what is important. Next is study physics for minimum 2 hours. Start by going through the chapter specific questions, understand the pattern. Okay, what are all the questions coming from this chapter? You will get the blueprint. From there you can understand. Go through the theory and numericals if any from that chapter. Okay, note down just the outline page after learning. So what are all the important things that we have to study from this chapter? That is called outline. So for example, electric charges and fields. What are all the important? Coulomb's law, properties of charges, Gauss's law, okay, electric field. These are the important things that I have to study. Mark the concept which needs a revisit. Suppose after doing everything you feel that Gauss's law I have understood, but still I need some time to study the Gauss's law part. So you can mark that, okay, I will come back here and I will come study this part again. You can use the index of the book for this purpose as well. Okay, so you can use the index of your NCERT book. If you are studying from NCERT, okay, in the index you mark, okay, this part I feel I am a little bit weak, I will come back later. Okay, give half an hour for question practice. So half an hour you have to give for question practice. Okay, so writing down whatever you have studied, you feel okay, this might be important, I have to write it down. Ask your teacher, sir, give me some important questions. Definitely we will be giving you important questions as well, but in your college, okay, or whatever you are taking tuitions of, you can ask the teacher, sir, give me some important questions to practice. So you can practice those questions right now. Next is in the month of December. In the month of December, we will start with dual nature of radiation and matter. Okay, semiconductor electronics. 5 mark questions definitely going to come. 1 5 marks long answer type questions is coming from this chapter. Okay, in week 2 we will complete atoms and nuclei chapter, right? And then week 3 magnetism and matter and electromagnetic waves. So our entire syllabus will be over by 3rd week of December. Okay, if in case you will need some extra time, you can use the week 4th of December. Okay, during that time you will be having Christmas holidays. Okay, so you can use that time to complete your entire PU2 PU board exam preparation. Okay, so or if you have time you can revise it. If you require extra time you can spill those chapters here, or if you have already completed you can revise your chapters in last week. Okay, now is final revision scheme. Okay, revise by solving maximum number of questions. Practice more. Write the answers, solve the numericals. More you will be doing, better for you. Okay, write down answers in points. Write the answers in points. Underline the important terms. Okay, in case Coulomb's law, underline the points, whatever you think. This is the important line. Mark the questions you are not able to attempt. Suppose when you are answering the question, you think, okay, this question I am not able to write right now. So mark those questions. This is an important question. Okay. You're not able to attempt, revisit the topic and re-attempt the same questions later. So if you are not able to answer some questions, what are the limitations of Ohm's law? Hey, Ohm's law I remember, but what are the limitations of Ohm's law? I don't know. Mark it. Study, find that answer later on when you are studying the chapter back again. Watch videos for the practical exam. There will be videos available in internet for practical exam. What you have to do in practical exam, you will get an idea of the concept behind the experiment, and it will help you to somehow remember the concept better. So practical exam, you will be doing some voltmeter to galvanometer conversion experiment. There are different microscopic telescope experiments, right? So how to take measurement, list count, etc. is not going to come in your board exam, but list count also you have to know if you are preparing for JEE exam or KSET exam. So you have to watch different videos for your experiment as well. That will not only keep you prepared for your practical exam, that will also help you to improve your theory as well in some parts, right? Solve at least 5 to 10 full length mock test. So this is very important. So 5 to 10 full length mock test means 5 papers at least you have to practice. Okay, when I was a student, we used to get a book consisting of all the pre-boards of different colleges in our district, in our state. This kind of things are not available here, where you can collect all the pre-board question paper from different districts. If you can collect some question paper from different districts, okay, suppose you are studying in South Bangalore district, your cousin is studying in Chitradurga district. So you ask your cousin, hey, can you share your physics question paper with me? I want to solve it. You share your question paper with him, he share his question paper with you, share the question paper, right? So that way you can even get more question papers and solve the question papers, and your time management will be better. Don't stop revisiting difficult topics. Very important. Okay, if you think this concept is difficult and I don't want to study it, you have to study it. There is no other way than revisiting the difficult concepts. So if you revisit them, if you study them again and again, after some time your brain will be cleared about that concept and you can answer that difficult questions as well. That is very important. Now if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. We will be doing a full course for final PU board exam, where we will be discussing all the most probable questions chapter wise for all the second PU topics. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more such videos. Till then, bye.